do, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the piston sleeve out of this engine right here. We'll get that cylinder sleeve out of there. I need to look at it with the O-ring and whatever in it, but that's good enough right there. We'll take that rod loose because this engine is free to turn. Don't have no head on it. And take the rod loose, take the piston out, and then use this new constructed puller system, and we'll snatch that sleeve right out of there. Y'all come along for the, take notes if you want to. But this engine, it was painted heavily. Oh yeah, it's got a gasket. You do use a gasket right there. That's one of the places you use a gasket on them. Well, that looks real good in there. I'll show it to you. Oh yeah. Okay, let's take that out of there. That's where we have to take that bearing cap off right there and get that rod and such out of there. We may use that in that Doug Thornhill engine, the whole setup. We'll see what it looks like. One color. Two colors. It does have a castellated nut on it right there, I can see. Oh, that's the wrong size. It would have been runnable, but for it not to be run, it's awful. But it may have been run for a bit. because it does. I will look at the oil, and I may have to make a different analysis on this one. But now we have to get that. We have to get that piston knocked up out through the front. I'll get a piece of wood. We'll try this. But we're just looking at what we got right there. So far, the bearing is good, usable. They're all clean, good threads. The only thing so far is it's only one thick shim, and that would have kept the bearing from turning, so it wasn't completely in error. But I'm going to try to raise up on that rod to center line it in there, and then I'm going to hit it with a hammer and make that piston and rod go forward, because I don't think it's okay. This is the first time I've ever had this engine apart. This is a 3 horsepower engine, and you can see that one of the rings are missing, and they're used rings, and they appear to be quite worn irregularly. So, and the piston has been, it's been brazed on around through there, and numerous. Oh yeah, somebody's done a lot of work on that piston. I mean, I wouldn't care to use it, but it's an interesting find. The head of it's rusted a lot on the face, but this part here appears to be pretty good. That's 3 horsepower. Wrist pin's tight now, but that's what you're going to find. Now let's get that cylinder sleeve out and get it in a good light and see what it looks like. But the reason for the side trip on this machining, this thing here, is in the back here. Well, I'll show you. In the back there, when this thing was round, it wouldn't go in there. So I measured it across yonder and I milled that off right there. You done seen me do it. And now to go up in there and I can turn it sideways once I get it in there. If the engine was disassembled and I could put this in up here in the back, which most of the time you do, it would not have to been modified. But this way it'll work in any situation. So with that little side trip, we'll put that in there. Let's see what's the best angle here. Get a working position. Kind of taking advantage of the evening sunset. Half-inch steel plate. It's got some holes in it which would probably compromise its strength, but I think it'd be strong enough anyways. Got some of that high pressure grease on them. Oversized on the all thread. So what we've ended up with there is okay. That puller disc down there is definitely, I felt it. It's indexed into that cylinder sleeve. So, and I know nothing about this engine, how tight it possibly could be. Looking down in there, you know, I think this engine was running when I got it, and I took it all apart. I'm not sure why, but it has oil and grease on it. This was a running engine. I'm glad I took it apart. For a couple of different reasons. This flywheel is one. Put an indicator on it today. Turn these are free to turn. So I put an indicator on here, a dial indicator, and checked them out to see if they was good. And this one over here checked out really good. And this one over here, it's off just a shade, but it's got that weld on it down there, so you know it's not going to be too much of a consequences, I'd say. But you know, anytime you lose a flywheel, That's pretty good loss on the engine. But, you know, well, I was going to put the impact to it, but let's try something. Let's just see how tight it is, you know? So some of them are not, some of them surprise you. And it's already moved. Oh yeah, no impact needed. Oh yeah. See the gap right in there? It's coming out. Okay, it's already out. Looking down in the hopper, it's already pulled past the flange part down there. But it does have a lot of dirt on it there. So I am going to set it free. Let's look down in there. Well, now I have to get that out of there. It's the way you get them out. Oh yeah, that's a really good thread there. Trimmed them two sides off of there. The reasoning being is one like this right here will not go in the back of the crankcase. This is for a 1.5 horsepower. This is that spark plug, and this is igniter, two different sizes. But if you have the complete engine took apart, then you don't have to knock them corners out there. If the occasion arose where I wanted to use this one in a small hole, I just put them in the middle of it. How that, you know. But you will accumulate those for different sizes. This being this one, the way you use the thing, that fits right in the back of that cylinder sleeve there, centers it up. And we'll put this all thread, and I use a thick washer. That's about 1/4 inch thick right there. And I'll show you something. You're going to run into this if you're working on these gems. You're going to run into this very problem. Some of these will be in the block so tight you have to have the assistance of a large hammer. So you can put 1.25 inch pipe through the back of the housing up over them nuts right there against that metal part right there and have at it with the sledgehammer, and sometimes it'll jar it loose. I'm just saying you on your own with that big hammer. And to make the whole thing easy is I fabricated this thing, a scrap piece of metal from the yard over there, 5/8 hole, a little bit bigger, and some angle iron standoffs welded onto there. This will be the front of the block out there when we put this thing into use. And the way this works is that comes up through there, comes back. At that point, it would be against the outer part of the block. And then we'll put some washers on here with some high pressure grease between them on here. And that's stainless steel there. But we'll just turn this, that in turns pulls that all thread this way and extracts that cylinder from that housing there. So I'll leave a comment. Y'all come on back tomorrow, a couple of days or so, a fortnight even, and leave a comment. Pass it on. And we'll put this cylinder wet sleeve guide, and we'll put this to use in a day or so. After I'm here in Middle Tennessee, the geographical center of something. Shop Dog Sam. Yeah, that'd be good enough. Let's get the other end. Perfect.